Hey everybody, welcome back to Beardy's Books. Just want to apologize for not being around last week for a review and a rundown, and my phone had some major complications last week, so I was not able to record and do my video. So anyway, I'm back. I'm just going to skip last week altogether. I'll say the two things that were the most standout for me were probably Saga, or three things: Saga, Extraordinary X-Men, and Silver Surfer. So those were all out last week, and they were pretty good, especially Silver Surfer. I'm really digging that book. It's been great for the last couple of years, and can't wait to see where it keeps going. But today, I'm doing my rundown for, what is it? Today is November 2nd. So this is our first Wednesday in November, first new comics for November, and I hope you all had a great Halloween weekend. Did some costumes, parties, trick or treat, whatever it is you do. And I know we had a crazy crowd at the comic shop at Comic Connection over the weekend for our Halloween sale. A lot of really cool costumes out there. So yeah, first I want to do just highlight. It's not an issue that came out today, but it's it's the artist tribute for Jim Henson's Labyrinth. Continuing the 30th anniversary celebration that's been going on this year, and it's just a book full of different artists' artwork and their different reactions to things in the from the movie, and there's like little notes and little stories in here, what with little quotes and stuff on how the movies affected them. This is one of my favorite images from the book. It's the Joelle Jones cover. I think it was a variant cover for something from as Ludo, who's always been my favorite character from the movie. But anyway, 30 years ago, this amazing movie came out. So this is a really cool book. It's nice, hardcover, gorgeous. It's got all the artists listed on the back here. But it's a really cool if you are a fan of the movie and the different arts and styles of a lot of different artists. So that's a really cool book if you want to check that out. They are out today. All right, so my rundown this week, got 6 books. My list is starting to thin down a little bit, and so we'll run off with, no pun intended, Justice League number 8, the flash cover there. This is a new arc, a new story started called Outbreak, and it's pretty good. Neil Edwards doing art, Brian Hitch writing, and it's just been, it was a really cool story where Batman is installing new software into all his different vehicles, and it goes haywire. Cyborg himself gets hacked by some strange adversary, and the last couple pages are pretty cool, and to see what's going to come next for the team. So this is them recovering from the fight with the Kindred that was going on through the last 4 or 5 issues or so, with those giant humanoid forms made up of all the different people. So in the aftermath of all that, they're kind of dealing with, despite stopping everything, there was one life that failed, that they failed to save. One person died during all of that, and so there's a couple different things going on in this issue. It was pretty cool. Maybe not cool. Cool might not be the right word. Interesting. Good story. We'll see where it goes. Next up, Chapter 3 of The Death of X. If you were not reading any of the X books prior to Death of X, everything they've hinted at has basically been explained in the beginning of every X-Men comic that's been coming out for the last, about a year or so. And sorry, I'm just drawing a blank. I think I missed a page when I was reading this that makes sense. But anyway, the Terrigen mists are going around the Earth, as we can see here, and it's transforming people into their inhuman forms, and the X-Men, of course, are being either sterilized or killed or having severe reactions to the Terrigen mists. So last issue ended with one of the Inhumans trying to put down there's a riot going on, and they were trying to calm everybody, but the mutants were there, so the mutants went down too. So of course they see it as an attack, and then it kind of happens again in this one. And there's something really off about Cyclops, and there's something wrong with Emma that the Cuckoo sisters, the Stepford Cuckoos, they see something, but they're not telling us what's going on. I had a theory that started to form in the last issue, and it continues. I may be completely off, and I just may be falling for the bait, or maybe I'm completely losing my mind. But the cover here especially reinforces my theory, is that Cyclops is in fact already dead, or Emma is controlling him, like the way she's positioned behind him, almost like she's coming out of him. She's holding his hand there. It feels like a puppeteer, like, and some of the things that are going on with him, it does not feel like Cyclops of late. And um, everyone has been accusing him of becoming like a terrorist and a monster and all these things and all these other issues, and we never knew what he did. And last issue, he projected himself telepathically, like, across the world. So I think there's something weird going on there. I don't think this is full regular Cyclops. That's just my theory. So yeah. Okay, up next is an exciting, fun, and lighthearted book for a change of pace here. Champions #2. If you did not get the first one, I highly suggest going out and get that, and pick this one up as well, out today. Is the team of teen characters for the Marvel Universe after they've been disenfranchised and lost their love of the adult superheroes during the Civil War II crisis. They are now kind of forming their own team, and the different personalities are coming together, and it's cool. So Ms. Marvel apparently suggests a camping trip. So they all are out in the woods, like cooking hot dogs or whatever, and they're doing kind of like a show and tell with their powers and different things. So it was pretty cool. And the young Cyclops, that was part of the all-new X-Men team from the past, he now comes to them and everything. And it's it's another one of those books that has a shocking final page reveal, but it might not be quite what you think it would be. Up next is Superman #10. I know I've been really talking about how much I like this series, and this issue just further backs that up. Young John is coming home from school, and he gets kidnapped by Robin, of all people, and Damian's kind of a jerk. And it was really fun seeing these two young characters come together, and how much of their fathers are in them, and yet how much they're still just children. And it's kind of like, my dad's stronger than yours. No, it wasn't quite like that, but it had a well-written version of that kind of vibe going to it. So I really liked it. And one of my favorite pages, and I apologize if this is considered a spoiler, but the boys, they actually start fist fighting each other, and there's this I won't tell you what Damian does. Damian does something that's kind of like, whoa. And then both dads show up, and the boys are like, uh-oh. So I don't know. I just thought that was great. A great take on that. Clearly, I think they're going to be setting up that Super Sun series that'll be coming out, I think, early next year, with the two of them. And anyway, it was really cool. Really liked it. Okay, up next is the first issue of a miniseries I have been anticipating for quite some time. It is Jason Aaron writing, and Olivier, I don't know how to pronounce names, Oliver Coipel, and Matthew Wilson, excuse me. Unworthy Thor. This is the first time we get to see Odin's son, as he calls himself now, since he lost the hammer. Since Secret Wars. Now, he did show up in one page, I think, a couple issues back in the Mighty Thor, but this is the first time we see him kind of on his own, and with Jason Aaron, his run when he started back with the Thor God of Thunder a couple years ago, through all of that, through the standalone Thor title last year, and now Mighty Thor with Jane Foster, and now this is going to be epic. It's just crazy. You get a little bit more, not necessarily what happened on the moon, but you see it kind of from Thor's perspective as to where he lost the hammer back during the original Sin story, and it's really cool. We're starting to see some things, and there's feels like they're teasing and building towards this War of Realms that has been mentioned a couple times. And I'm wondering if that's going to be a bigger thing next year. So it'll be really cool. Obviously, there's a Thor movie out next year, so it wouldn't surprise me if we see Odin's son return to the full-on mantle of Thor sometime within the next 6-7 months or so. Maybe even a year, since the movie, I believe, comes out next November. So we'll see. Not that the movies necessarily have an effect on the stories of the comics, but like obviously it's marketing. And just like, we all knew Spider-Man when he was taken over by Doc Ock, he got back to be Peter Parker right before that Amazing Spider-Man movie came out. So anyway, we'll see. All that be as it may, this was a really fun issue. Seeing Thor, Odin's son, going off on this adventure without the hammer, trying to figure out what's going on, and we get to actually see a little bit more of him on his own, because when we last saw him pre-Secret Wars, he was trying to figure out who the other Thor was, who the female Thor was. And, he had the whole original sin story with Angela and Loki and losing the hammer and all that. So it's pretty cool to see him back in action, especially with this team. And my last comic for the week, Aquaman, number 10, is the Josh Middleton cover with an amazing Mara cover. It is just... Josh Middleton's covers on these series have been blowing me away, because some of the stuff I look and I'm like, oh yeah, it's totally Josh Middleton. But this... I looked at it and I had to check the credits to make sure it was him, because it just looks so different from his style, and I really like that when different artists can play with their style and not feel like it's completely different, but you're not quite sure if it's still them or not. But yeah, it's great. Mara is probably one of my favorite characters from this whole series, going back through the whole New 52 run and everything through Rebirth. I know I say this probably every time I review Aquaman, but I do miss her Aquaman costume, the Aqua Woman costume. But I do like the new take that they've been doing lately in here, where it almost looks like a kind of mummy bandage wrap type costume. That's pretty cool. So anyway, I'm running out of time. This is really a really interesting issue. They continue with her being in the the Tower of Widowhood or whatever it is in Atlantis, where she's kind of being tested to see if she's worthy of being Arthur's wife. And there's this prophecy and all this horrible stuff going on, and it's really interesting to see her. I love seeing her get to go out and do things, because she's a very formidable character, a very powerful hero in her own right, and she's got this edge to her where she's not entirely stable, not like mentally, but like she's got some anger issues and different things. So you see her come at things a little differently than Aquaman would, and how they work together is a really fascinating part of the story to me. So anyway, that is Beardy's Books Rundown for Wednesday, November 2nd, 2016. And I just want to throw this out there, just with everything that's going on in the world. I mean, a little... I'm not going to get political here or tell anybody about, go out and vote, or not, or who to vote for. That is entirely up to you. My opinion on that is completely irrelevant. All I'm going to say is take care of the people that are in your life. Let them know you love them. And just be there for each other. Even people you don't really know well, or not your family or friends, just... It doesn't take that much effort to be kind to someone, let them out in front of you when you're, queued up and you're waiting for a stoplight or whatever. Just be considerate. There's a lot of things going on, and especially to your family and friends, because you never know what anybody's going through on any given day. They may keep stuff bottled up because they feel like they've got to present things to you a certain way, or the world, and they deal with a lot of things internally on their own. And you may never know what they're going through, and that's not good. But anyway, all that to say, just take care of the people around you, love your friends, love your family, and be nice to everyone else, even if they completely disagree with everything about you. It doesn't hurt to be nice. So anyway, that's it. Preaching done. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Peace.